I have a question for you. What purple McDonald's character, introduced in 1971 as part of McDonaldland, is known for his love of milkshakes? Hi, I'm Mark Ellison, host of the podcast 5 Daily Trivia Questions. Here's another question. What NFL team, founded in 1961, is known for its purple uniforms and Viking horn logo? No, the questions aren't always purple, but we do have theme days on 5 Daily Trivia Questions. Here's one more. What 1984 Prince film and album features the hit songs When Doves Cry and a song about rain? Follow 5 Daily Trivia Questions and come play along. Oh, and the answers: The Grimace, The Vikings, and Purple Rain. 5 Daily Trivia Questions wherever you get your shows. The number 5 Daily Trivia Questions.
It is the world's most secretive election. When a pope dies, ancient traditions begin. A silver hammer, a destroyed ring, over 100 cardinals locked away from the world, choosing the next leader of 1 billion faithful. White smoke. The path to a new pope, from Calaroga Shark Media, wherever you get your podcasts.
Calaroga Shark Media.
From Washington, D.C., where our politicians have been perfecting the art of making us suffer for years without calling it an exhibition, this is Ballot.
I read a lot of stupid stories hosting this thing, but this first one is insane. Let's hit this. Hi, I'm Patrick Gutfield, and an art exhibition in Denmark decided to let 3 piglets starve to death as art. And somehow we're the ones who don't understand art? This Chilean artist, Marco Evaristi, created what he called the And Now You Care exhibition. Because nothing says caring like animal cruelty with shopping carts. Plot twist: the piglets, named Lucia, Simon, and Benjamin, were stolen by animal rights activists with the help of the artist's friend, Casper Steffensen. Apparently, Steffensen's 10-year-old daughter begged him to make sure the piggies won't die. When a child has more ethical clarity than an international artist, maybe it's time to rethink your medium. Evaristi was initially disappointed when he found out his friend helped with the heist. I mean, how dare someone prevent animal suffering when there was important art happening? But then he had an epiphany. At least this way, the piglets would have a happy life. Wow, what a concept. Maybe he should name his next exhibition "And Now They're Actually Happy." The artist claims this was all to raise awareness about pig production in Denmark, where sows are bred to produce 20 piglets, despite only having 14 teats. That's like inviting 20 people to dinner, but only cooking for 14, except with starvation instead of awkward small talk. Now, Evaristi wants to revive the exhibition by stealing dead piglets from meat processing plants. Because nothing says I'm serious about animal rights, like grave robbing for pork. He also wants to auction 3 new piglets to whoever promises them the happiest life. I'm no art critic, but maybe just donate to an animal welfare organization instead? The artist complained, "I got a lot of hate messages from around the world. I think people don't get that my art is about animals' rights." Yeah, that's definitely the problem. People just don't understand that the best way to advocate for animal rights is to checks notes, starve animals to death. Makes perfect sense. Well, this is some bleeping great news. Turns out all those times your grandma told you to watch your language, you should have told her you were just practicing preventative medicine. A new study shows that swearing actually increases pain tolerance and physical strength. That's right, saying a 4-letter word when you stub your toe isn't just an emotional release. It's scientifically proven to help with the pain. Richard Stevens, a psychology researcher at Keele University, calls swearing a drug-free, calorie-neutral, cost-free means of self-help. In other words, it's like meditation, but way more satisfying when someone cuts you off in traffic. In 2009, Stevens and his colleagues published the first study linking swearing with reduced pain sensitivity. The subjects were asked to stick their hands in ice water while repeating either a swear word or a non-swear word. Those who cursed like sailors could keep their hands in the freezing water longer and reported less pain. Surprisingly, this effect isn't just limited to English speakers. A 2017 study compared native English speakers saying the F word versus cup and Japanese speakers saying their version of the S word versus kapu, meaning cup. Both groups showed increased pain tolerance when swearing, proving that cursing is truly a universal language. Ollie Robertson, a psychology researcher at Oxford, explains that swearing has been linked to bolstered social bonds, improved memory, and even an alleviation of the social pain of exclusion or rejection. So the next time someone gives you the cold shoulder, apparently dropping an F-bomb might actually make you feel better emotionally too. Most recently, research has shown that swearing can increase physical strength. In a 2018 study, participants who swore during an anaerobic power test on a bike showed improvement in strength. Stevens believes this might be because, by swearing, we just get ourselves in a place where we're more disinhibited, allowing us to push harder. For those who want to harness the power of profanity, Nick Washmuth, a professor of physical therapy, suggests selecting a swear word that feels powerful, one you'd naturally use if you stubbed your toe. If nothing comes to mind, the F word is the most commonly self-selected swear word by participants in these studies and is considered one of the most powerful swear words out there. He recommends swearing at a steady pace once a second to once every 3 seconds at a normal speech volume. But if you're in a public place where shouting obscenities might get you some strange looks, Washmuth is currently studying whether internal swearing could work just as well. Next time you drop a hammer on your foot, remember, you're not being rude, you're practicing evidence-based pain management. And if anyone complains about your language, tell them you're just following doctor's orders. Here's a fun new health crisis. Apparently, we've all got plastic in our brains now. Great! As if social media hadn't already turned my brain to mush, now it's literally made of plastic. According to a new report released in the journal Brain Medicine, microplastics are absolutely everywhere. In your liver, your blood, and even enjoying a nice vacation in your frontal lobe. Sherry Mason, a freshwater and plastic pollution researcher, calls this a public health crisis that people are just generally not aware of. Meanwhile, Nicholas Fabiano, the article's lead author, helpfully points out that having tiny bits of plastic scattered throughout your vital organs is certainly not beneficial. You think? So how do we avoid becoming walking Tupperware containers? Here are 5 ways to reduce your plastic intake. First, stop drinking bottled water. Researchers found that an average liter of bottled water contains about 240,000 plastic particles. That's right. When you drink bottled water, you're basically drinking a liquid Lego set. Second, avoid plastic food containers. Buy peanut butter in glass jars instead. And don't even get me started on canned foods, which are often lined with plastics that shed microplastics faster than my cat sheds fur on a black sweater. Third, don't microwave food in plastic containers. One study found that microwaving food in plastic releases more than 4 million microplastic particles in just 3 minutes. That's not a meal, that's a chemistry experiment. Fourth, avoid highly processed foods. Apparently, breaded shrimp has the highest concentration of plastic particles. And chicken nuggets contain 30 times more microplastics than chicken breasts. So those aren't actually chicken nuggets. They're plastic nuggets with a hint of chicken flavoring. Finally, ditch the plastic tea bags. A single nylon tea bag can release 11 billion microplastic particles. That's not a cup of tea. That's a cup of plastic soup with a tea garnish. Remember when our biggest health concern was just good old-fashioned cholesterol? Now we're worried about becoming human recycling bins. Next time someone calls you plastic, just say yes, about 240,000 particles worth, thank you very much. Hunting invasive species, anyone? The federal government wants you to turn your shotgun into a spatula by hunting and eating the 5 most environmentally destructive creatures in America. At the top of the list, the nutria. Picture a beaver that skipped its stylist appointment, and you've got a nutria. These South American swamp rats were brought to America in the 1930s by fur traders with dreams of nutria skin coats dancing in their heads. When that fashion trend predictably crashed and burned, they did what any responsible business owners would do: release them into the wild. What could possibly go wrong? Fast forward 90 years, And these rodents are destroying marshlands faster than a toddler with finger paints in a white living room. They eat 25% of their body weight daily. If humans did that, we'd each consume roughly 40 pounds of food every day. I'd need to replace my refrigerator hourly. The Fish and Wildlife Service described the damage as making wetlands look like something out of a disaster movie. I'm picturing the day after tomorrow, but with buck-toothed rodents instead of climate change. But here's where it gets weird. They want us to eat them! The government describes nutria meat as lean and mild with a flavor similar to rabbit, or even the dark meat of a turkey. Nothing makes me hungrier than hearing a government agency compare something to dark meat. I'm sure their marketing department worked overtime on that one. There's even a cookbook from 1963 with dishes like chicken fried nutria and macaroni nutria casserole. Louisiana, being Louisiana, went straight for smoked nutria and andouille sausage gumbo. Because if you're going to eat a swamp rat, you might as well jazz it up New Orleans style. The government's list of edible invaders also includes northern snakehead fish, green iguanas, several types of carp, and feral hogs. It's like they're assembling the world's most disturbing buffet. The good news? In Louisiana, these hungry rodents used to destroy 100,000 acres of wetland annually, but that's down to just 5,500 acres last year. So their extermination program is actually working. I'm not saying I'll be first in line for a nutria burger, but I appreciate the creativity. Don't just complain about invasive species, put them on the menu is apparently the government's new conservation strategy. Talk about putting your money where your mouth is, or in this case, putting a giant rodent where your mouth is. So remember, next time you're hunting, if you see something that looks like a beaver had a baby with a rat, shoot it, grill it, and tell everyone it tastes like a turkey. You're not just having dinner, you're saving America's wetlands, one disturbing entree at a time. Portions of today's program were made with the help of AI, swamp rats, and 3 little pigs.
It is the world's most secretive election. When a pope dies, ancient traditions begin. A silver hammer, a destroyed ring, over 100 cardinals locked away from the world, choosing the next leader of 1 billion faithful. White Smoke. The Path to a New Pope, from Calaroga Shark Media, wherever you get your podcasts.